Hello, this is Captain Drew Cavanaugh with Florida Inshore Fishing Charters and Mosquito Lagoon Sight Fishing Charters, located here in East Central Florida on the world-famous Mosquito Lagoon and North Indian River Lagoon system near Daytona Beach, Cocoa Beach, and Oak Hill, Florida, New Smyrna Beach. And today is March 19th, 2014, and this is your Mosquito Lagoon Inshore Flats Fishing Report for the month. Well, it's been a great past few months so far. The weather's been kind of up and down, a little bit iffy. We're getting some days of, well, the past 3-4 weeks ago we were getting days of just a lot of wind and a lot of cloudy days. Can't remember exactly when that was. It was like solid clouds, and just we were out there and sight fishing was tough because we didn't have the light and just a lot of blind casting. But the past few weeks here and the long-term forecast up through next week and then the week after that, man, we're getting into some great weather. I'm out here in short sleeve shirt. I've got my jeans on, but earlier I was in shorts. It's probably maybe 74 degrees or something. Bluebird skies. The wind's blowing right now, but we're getting to sunset. It's about 5:30, 6 o'clock right here in Florida, Eastern Standard Time. The past few days, some of the charters we've gotten, we had one day there that it was maybe 3-mile-an-hour winds out of the southeast, just perfect drop dead conditions. We were getting onto the flats, starting at first light. I was getting out there, and you know, we were coming across tailing fish here, tailing fish there as we're going. And one of the lures I like to use when the fish are moving, like in schools in the early morning hours, and this lure will work great whether you're blind casting over the potholes or whatnot, or throwing at fish that we call them tipping up. When a fish is swimming, a redfish, you know, their backs are lifting up out of the water or they're looking down. You can use the DOA bait buster here, the shallow running bait buster, and you just throw that out there across the school, past the school, across it, just bring it across them, and you will usually get a good strike with that. The other lure that to use is throughout the day, when the sun's up and you're physically seeing fish, or you see tailing redfish. Lately we've been getting the fish all over the flats. You get to a flat in say 18 inches, 14 inches, and there's bait there, there's activity there. Just start pulling the boat around, tactical position. The sun's, you know, at my back and the fish's eyes, so I can see in the water better there. You know, you're gonna throw the DOA shrimp to them. Normally I use a lighter color one. I just happen to grab this one out of my box. I like to add sometimes a bullet weight to it, just to give you that little bit of distance, get it down there quicker if they're tailing, you know, because if they're in the mud and they're feeding, you're going to want to throw to them, get it down to their face. But then this is a lure, this DOA cow I use, the small cow I use quite often, and I like to put it on either an owner or a Daiichi weedless hook. Just the hook goes into there instead of using a jig head, and it's the little weighted hook right there. You put it on there and it just, you know, it goes weedless. And what I'm doing is this will enable me to throw at these fish when they're tailing in grass and when I'm sight fishing them. So if I'm out there pushing the boat and I'm seeing redfish right there, I'm able to get to them. And that's the way it's been here the past few weeks. I forgot to bring some of the flies with me. Last fly charter I did, we were using crab patterns, black crab patterns, and then actually I love a shrimp pattern this time of year. Here in Oak Hill, I think just a few days ago on one of the full moons, they had an outstanding shrimp run. Some of my neighbors in the neighborhood I'm in, they were bringing in shrimp that were like that, just filling up a 5-gallon bucket in a couple hours at the full moon, because we had a full moon like 2-3 days ago, right around St. Patty's Day or something like that. But typically we've been going out there, we've been finding feeding fish early in the morning, tailors. These fish are ranging anywhere between 4 pounds, 5 pounds, 6, 7 pounds. I think Sunday's charter we got a few 10, 11 pounders. Yeah, you will. We every now and then we'll find the big 20 pounders, 25 pounders, so on and so forth. They are out there, but they're not. They get pressured a lot, so those fish, you know, yeah, everybody wants those, but typically my past few charters we're getting the 8 pounders, 7 pounders, 10 pounders, you know, 15 pounders, not the giant 40 pounders. Yeah, who doesn't want those constantly? But that puts a lot of pressure on those fish, so you want to try to avoid just hammer every day if you know where they're at. And unfortunately, I know some of the guides, and I see guides do that constantly. They're just hammering them all day long, and those are our breeders. The spotted sea trout. As we're looking the flats, grass flats with sand holes, potholes, you know, banks. Like this is a pond I'm on. This isn't saltwater. The lagoon's just over here by a half mile, quarter mile. Let's say this was saltwater and you want to push up that bank and look for the fish tailing along the bank, because you know a lot of the finger mullet and whatnot will be up there along the bank, so that's a good area to look for. But scattered out on the grass flats, you will see the spotted sea trout. When I say on the grass flats, you can go out along the drop-offs and the bars in 4 or 5 feet of water this time of year and throw you a DOA jig with an 1/8 ounce weighted head, and you could catch trout all day long like this probably. I'm talking 5, 6, 8, 10 pound trout on the grass flats. That's the ones I typically like to target. The black drum are scattered out along, mixed in with the redfish and trout on the flats. Just, you know, they're feeding the crabs, feeding on the shrimp. We have, with the shrimp having a massive run right now, you're really good to either, if you even wanted to throw a live shrimp at these fish, if you're sight fishing, or the DOA shrimp here. But I've always said, you know, if you're pushing the boat and you're sight fishing and you're throwing to a redfish that's tailing, if you can throw a live shrimp to him, you can throw a plastic to him, and the plastic will stay on the hook a lot longer, and this thing will stay alive a lot longer than a live shrimp will. So, you know, go figure. I use live shrimp every now and then, like for black drum and whatnot, because they're a little bit pickier eaters. But typically the redfish and trout, you know, it's 3 keys: presentation, accuracy, and just your overall distance, you know, depending on how far away. You know, obviously if there's fish on the other side of the bank over here, you know, it's 80, 90, 100 foot, even a professional like myself, that's almost an impossible cast. But now here at the edge of this grass, 20, 30 feet away, perfect. But the problem is you're limited on how many casts you can do. If you're able to throw at a fish 400 feet away, you could probably make 30 casts to him, versus 115 feet. You get 1 shot at it, and 1 shot better be accurate, you know. I always like to use this analogy. You're hunting, you're out in the woods. In theory, you only need 1 bullet for the year for 1 deer. So there you go. So basically that is it. We have April coming up. Looks like April's always a great, fantastic month to sight fish the flats here on the Mosquito Lagoon. I'm doing a few of my charters on the Indian River side, so we're still launching in the lagoon. We're going back and forth. As May gets here, April, May, the cobia will start to run along the beaches. And then when June will get here, we'll start to get tarpon showing up. And next thing you know, we're in the middle of summer. So definitely this is a great time of year to book all the way up. You got the next several months of outstanding fishing here in Florida. It doesn't get any better than this. I mean, I'm always asked the question, when's the best time of year to go? When do you like to go? That's the nice thing about living on a peninsula surrounded by salt water in the subtropics. So again, it's Captain Drew Cavanaugh. This is your Mosquito Lagoon sight fishing report for March 19th, 2014. And I hope to see everybody out here on the water. Thank you.